everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Let's Talk Ghosts. And to follow up our last week's episode where we got a little nostalgic with some old stuff, we're doing the same thing today. Lately on Pluto TV, which is an app, if you're not familiar with it, it's got lots of free channels of stuff and lots of on-demand stuff. Well, lately they've put in their on-demand section Paranormal State. Now, Bruce has never watched much of Paranormal State before.
No.
I have, and I've always liked it, but we thought we would take a look, go all the way back to the beginning and watch the first episode. So season 1, episode 1 of Paranormal State. So we have a couple of their core people that they always have. Ryan, who is the director of the Penn State Paranormal Research Society. Sergey, who is the tech specialist. Elfie, who later on, can't remember what they said her role is right now. I think she's just a researcher. But later on, she becomes their occult specialist. She really gets into that stuff. In this episode, and I don't know how long that's going to go on, Adam is a psychologist, and he becomes very important to this episode. There's a few other people, but those are the key people from this episode. So it starts out, and this is a format that follows every single episode. They have their case briefing, and then they go into other stuff. So first of all, the case briefing, and they're sitting around this, like a table in a boardroom or something, and they're going through all the information. And all the members of the society are there, whether they're in on the investigation or not. Anybody that's interested is there. And they probably, even the ones that don't go physically to the investigation, my guess is they're all taking part in doing research and on all that sort of thing. And then this particular case is about a young boy who is seeing dead people or something. They don't know at this point. Just some sort of paranormal activity that seems to have really picked up once the family moved to this house.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. They start off with the investigation day 1. And Ryan does something called a director's log. And he does it a few times throughout. And the first time I heard this, I always thought of, Captain's log from Star Trek. And so he does a director's log. And it's kind of the same idea. It's sort of a update of what's going on, what his thoughts are. And sometimes he does them more than just a couple times in a season or in an episode. And sometimes just a few times. I think it depends on the severity of what's going on. Yeah, so he does his little bit with the director's log. And then he goes to interview with the client. So he interviews the mother. And Adam, who is a psychologist, went to interview the child. And I thought that was brilliant, actually, having an actual psychologist interviewing the child. Rather than just the, random college kid trying to interview a child. I think that was really smart. So that was good. He really spent a lot of time, and they showed it.
Yeah.
A lot of time. So yeah, I thought that was really, really brilliant of having the psychologist interview the child. And he does, you could see him, he's playing with him, he's taking pictures and making it all fun, takes him outside. At one point he asks where he's been seeing this one entity called Timmy.
Yeah.
And the kid takes him down in the basement, points at a spot by the furnace, and says that's where Timmy is. And he goes, in general or right now? And you can see the kid is scared. He kind of runs away, and he goes, well, right now. So Timmy is there right now. It took me a while to figure out Timmy is not a child. Timmy is an adult. And they figured that out in the next day where they found out, this is me stuttering, they found out that a gentleman, he was 21, by the name of Timothy Shire? Something like that. Timothy was killed not even a mile from the house. You could see it from their backyard where his body was found. So they're wondering if that's who he's seeing.
Yeah.
So that is basically what they're working on, and they do a lot of research. There is an awful lot of research that goes into these episodes.
Yeah.
They are next doing their investigation is called Dead Time, and they do it at night around about, I don't know, midnight-ish, I think. But it's called Dead Time, and they're one of the initial people that did something like that. And they broke into two groups. One team went outside to the site of where Timothy's body was found.
Right.
And one team is inside. Ryan stays inside with Adam and somebody else. I forget. And Sergey is the tech guy. He was in the basement, basically a nerve center or whatever they want to call it. He's monitoring from there. So he can monitor both sites. It was actually pretty interesting. You could see that, they don't have a lot of equipment.
No.
Not like nowadays, everybody's got to have cat balls and everything. They had some cameras and voice recorders.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't see anything else.
No.
But again, this is, early 2000s, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
So not a lot of equipment out there, but I've said it before, you don't need a lot of equipment.
No. Camera.
And a recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, try to capture anything. So they were doing that, trying to find out what they could find, asking questions, and I don't know if you can hear Ray panting. It's one of our dogs. But you could hear, very similar, you could hear breathing.
Oh, yeah.
With your ears,
Yeah.
we could hear the breathing. They're asking questions and trying to see if Timothy would come forward and talk, or whoever was there would talk. And just like outside the door of the room, you could hear the breathing. Yeah. And it was picked up on camera.
Yeah.
Or not on camera. Yeah, I guess camera. Yeah. And also on their recording devices, they checked it out later. Yeah, you could hear this breathing plain as day, and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
But I also liked when they talked about his gifts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They determined that this child has some sort of a clairvoyant / mediumship sort of gifts. And Ryan was concerned that not only is he going to see good spirits, but he's also going to be a magnet for bad spirits. They didn't really go into that.
No.
About how, even directing him of who could help him. But, they gave the parents some tools. So at least the parents would know to look up, hopefully, somebody that could teach the kid how to manage his gifts. Because it's never going to stop.
No.
Like he did say at one point that the spirits come to him because they know he can see them.
Yeah. And
we know that happens.
And he picked out the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, after we'll get to that part in just a minute. They did review all the evidence that they got from the investigations. Mm-hmm. And then they did a cleansing ritual. Now that's something that Paranormal State always did. They always tried to cleanse the house of any bad energies if they could. And that was just basically saying some prayers as they were going around the house. And they would go around the house with the homeowners. Mm-hmm. So the mom and dad would be there. Going around the house. And Ryan, as Adam was reciting these scriptures, Ryan is putting crosses in holy water on the walls above the doors and windows, etc., etc. So it was in tandem. Yeah. They get to the kids' room, and Adam almost fell over, like he said, as he felt like something was trying to stop him from going in there and reading those scriptures. And you could see him; he's leaning on the bed and trying to hold himself up, and he's like, "Wow!" He felt really, really poorly. So they go through and they cleanse everything, and then the next day they come back for like day 3, which is where they're sort of reviewing stuff. And they did show pictures of this this guy, Timothy, to the young boy to see if he would recognize him. And it wasn't like, is this who you're seeing? No, it was a picture, like a wedding party, where he was a part of the wedding party.
Graduation.
I didn't see them show him that.
Okay.
They showed him the wedding photo.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, do you see him anywhere in here? And he picked him out immediately.
Yeah.
And Ryan asked him, well, how do you know that's him? Because that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no way in hell that kid could have known that.
No.
You know, who would have shown him pictures of this guy?
Yeah.
No, we did wonder when we first said, you know, they said that the parents, nobody in the household knew that this guy had been murdered. And he wasn't like 6 months before they moved in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he was a previous tenant of the house.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what they said. He was a previous tenant of the house. And I don't know who else lived there with him or if it was just him. But he's 21. Chances are it was his family.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, his body was found maybe not even a mile away across a field. When you could see the site from the house, from the backyard. That must have been tough. That's probably why the family moved away.
Yeah.
I would think anyway. Yeah. So he picked him out. Just picked him out.
Yeah.
So there's no way that the parents didn't know about this. My question was, you know, maybe the kid heard about it at school.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you know?
Yeah, but they would talk about this guy, but they wouldn't show a picture of
Yeah,
this
because
guy.
that's true. They didn't have a picture. So it was really quite cool. And then at the end, Ryan has his issues, but and I don't care about the issues later on. We're talking about right now. The very beginning, his heart was really in the right place. He's helping people because of some of the stuff that he went through as a kid himself. So he goes to the little boy. They're outside and he's talking to him. And basically he gives him a bottle of holy water and says, you know, if anything ever happens, you know, throw some holy water at it and it'll make it feel better and make you feel better.
Yeah, and make it go away.
Yeah, it'll make it go away. So he said that's what he used to do when he had things come out of his closet when he was a kid. He'd throw holy water at it. Now, my first thought was he's telling him just to throw the bottle. Here!
No.
But yeah, so then he asked if, you know, if you'd like us to come back, you know, again and check with you and see how you're doing. And the kid goes, yes. And he goes, well, when would you like us to come back? And the kid goes, soon.
Yeah.
Soon. And I thought that was kind of sweet. Yeah. And then, true to form, they do come back 2 weeks later. Ryan comes back with Adam, the psychologist.
Right.
And it sounds like a lot of things have improved.
Yeah.
You know, the mom was saying, you know, the child is smiling again for the first time in a long time, and he's actually sleeping in his room instead of sleeping with the parents.
Yeah.
So.
And, you know, and that's just empowerment.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody acknowledging that they're not crazy.
Somebody who knew what he was going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're not crazy. This is real. Yeah. Let's see what we can do to fix it. And that was one of the things I truly liked about Paranormal State way back in the day when it first came on. I mean, it was one of the original paranormal shows. That and Ghost Hunters came on roughly the same time, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Ghost Hunters or was it Ghost Adventures?
Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters, yeah. So I'd forgotten how much I really enjoyed this. So again, if folks, it's on Pluto TV, and it is in the on-demand section under the Supernatural segment. So yeah, if you want to watch it, that's where you find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bruce, what do you think? Now that you'd never seen a whole episode before.
I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
I liked the whole cast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I liked certain elements about it affected me more because, you know, I was one of those kids.
Yeah.
You know, so I've always seen.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I like the format. I like his director's log.
Yeah, yeah.
But it does kind of tie things together,
Yeah.
which it brings all those loose ends, brings them all together.
But, for a first-time watcher, I'll watch that again.
Yeah. Well,
I'll watch
Pluto
more.
TV. Yeah. So yeah, we really enjoyed it. I mean, some of these old shows, they didn't have anything to prove back then because there was no competition.
And it was but demons.
Oh, there's not everything is about demons. But to be fair, Paranormal State is a lot of dark stuff because that's what they're being called in for is problems.
Well, you don't call them for being, happy.
I got a ghost that's baking apple pies in my kitchen at night. Come on, make her stop. Yeah. No, I like the apple pies.
But, it's not a demon every time.
Mm. No, not always a demon, just some problematic stuff.
Yeah.
Problematic stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, folks, that's our story for today. I hope you have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are in this great wide world.
Happy hunting.
Happy haunting. Bye now.